drop point. The undisputed king of the bushcraft world and the ultimate all-rounder blade you want at your side when everything goes wrong. Featuring a slow, convex curve sloping gently down from the spine to meet a thick, robust tip, this geometry is engineered for maximum durability. Because the point is lowered and aligns perfectly with the center axis of the handle, it provides incredible control and drastically reduces the chance of accidental punctures when meticulously skinning wild game. But its true strength lies in heavy camp chores. When you need to process thick logs by batoning, striking the spine of the knife with a heavy piece of wood to split timber, the thick tip of a drop point will not snap under the immense pressure. While it lacks the aggressive, piercing capabilities of specialized tactical blades, its unparalleled versatility and rugged reliability make it the most essential survival tool. Clip point. A blade profile instantly recognizable because the front third of the spine looks like it was sliced right off. That distinct clipped section creates a thinner, needle-like tip that delivers devastating piercing power and surgical precision for intricate tasks. If you need to pick a makeshift lock, carve delicate notches for a primitive friction fireboard, or carefully clean a small fish without ruining the meat, this is your weapon of choice. However, that extreme precision comes with a massive structural trade-off. The same thinness that makes it cut like a scalpel also makes the tip extremely fragile compared to other survival profiles. If you try to aggressively pry this blade against a dense rock or wedge it into a hardwood tree trunk, the steel will almost certainly snap under the lateral stress. It is a highly specialized tool designed for slicing and puncturing, strictly demanding respect and proper technique to survive the backcountry. Tanto. A brutal blade profile born directly from the armor-piercing daggers carried by ancient Japanese samurai into close-quarters combat. Unlike traditional knives, the tanto completely ditches smooth curves in favor of a high point with a flat grind and a sharp, angular transition edge. This aggressive, geometric design puts a massive amount of dense steel directly behind the tip, making it practically indestructible upon impact. It is not meant for carving wooden spoons or comfortably skinning an animal. It is designed entirely for violence and extreme tactical breaching. A high-quality tanto fixed blade can literally punch straight through a solid car door, thick synthetic barrels, or heavy Kevlar body armor without chipping or breaking the steel. If you find yourself in an urban survival environment where you need to forcefully pry open crates, smash through safety glass, or neutralize an immediate physical threat, the tanto offers unmatched, uncompromising penetration power. Kukri. The signature forward-curving weapon of the legendary Gurkha warriors of Nepal, universally feared and respected on battlefields for centuries. This unique geometry completely drops the center of gravity straight toward the front of the blade, effectively tricking the laws of physics. When you swing it, the kukri hits the target with the crushing kinetic energy of a heavy hand axe, but follows through by slicing with the clean, razor-sharp edge of a machete. From clearing paths through dense, unforgiving jungle vines to chopping thick firewood for a winter camp, it replaces multiple heavy tools in your loadout. In close combat, it operates as a pocket-sized guillotine capable of neutralizing a severe threat in a single, devastating strike. The thick spine provides immense durability, while the distinct inner curve near the handle allows for surprisingly detailed carving work. It is an ancient, perfectly engineered hybrid that dominates both nature and enemies. Bowie knife. The ultimate American frontier legend, and a short sword masquerading as a survival tool. Made famous globally following a brutal 1827 sandbar duel involving Jim Bowie, this iconic weapon was explicitly designed to handle the harshest environments imaginable. It features a massive, incredibly heavy blade, usually forged with a sharp clip point, and is defined by a solid brass crossguard built specifically to protect the user's hand during violent knife combat. You do not pack a Bowie knife just to cut paracord or open rations. It was engineered to skin a grizzly bear, chop through heavy seasoned firewood, and win a desperate, bloody fight to the death, all in the exact same afternoon. Carrying a large, full-tang Bowie knife changes your entire mindset in the wilderness. When you unsheathe this massive piece of high-carbon steel, you are not just trying to survive the wild. You are preparing to conquer it entirely. Karambit. A nightmare in close-quarters combat, originally designed in Southeast Asia and heavily inspired by the devastating hooked claws of a tiger. Its defining physical features are a severe inward curving blade and a prominent safety ring located at the base of the handle. By slipping your index finger tightly through that retention ring, the knife becomes virtually impossible to drop, lose, or be disarmed of during a chaotic, violent struggle. While it is completely useless for traditional survival tasks like chopping firewood, preparing a meal, or carving steaks, it remains the deadliest tool on earth for its intended purpose. The carom bit is built exclusively for hooking, trapping limbs, and ripping effortlessly through thick tactical fabric or flesh. Held in a reverse grip, it transforms the natural biomechanics of a standard punch into a lethal tearing strike, making it the ultimate specialized backup weapon for extreme self-defense scenarios. Sheep's foot. A highly specialized maritime rescue blade originally designed for sailors who had to work on pitching violent ships in the middle of deadly ocean storms. It possesses a perfectly straight cutting edge and a dull, flat spine that curves aggressively down to meet it, practically eliminating the sharp tip entirely. This total lack of a conventional point was engineered specifically to prevent accidental, fatal stabbings when the wooden deck violently shook beneath the crew's feet. Today, it has evolved into the absolute ultimate first responder and emergency extraction knife. Because it cannot easily puncture, a paramedic or survivalist can quickly slide a sheep's foot blade under a jammed car seat belt or thick clothing to cut a victim free without any risk of piercing their skin. It provides incredibly safe, controlled slicing power, proving that sometimes the best way to save a life is to remove the deadliest part of the weapon. Tracker knife. A massive, complex, multi-tool fixed blade that looks exactly like three completely different survival tools welded together into one intimidating Frankenstein design. Popularized in mainstream culture by the movie The Hunted, its aggressive and weird geometry is highly intentional. It features a heavy, rounded front belly designed to act as a hatchet for violently chopping thick logs. Just behind that, a straight rear edge sits close to the handle, allowing for controlled, fine whittling and making feather sticks for fire starting. Finally, the thick spine incorporates aggressively cut saw teeth, perfect for notching wood to build complex animal traps or shelter frames. While it requires a steep learning curve to master all its different zones, this heavy-duty chunk of steel is explicitly engineered to keep you alive and functioning when you find yourself lost in the deep woods with absolutely nothing else in your pack. Wharncliffe. Often considered the gentleman's tactical scalpel, this unique profile was historically created in the 19th century for intricate wood whittling, but has since become a top-tier modern tactical carry. It is designed with a perfectly straight, razor-sharp cutting edge, while the spine drops at a slow, gradual angle to form a highly usable, aggressive point. This specific, sloped angle is brilliant because it naturally forces all the cutting pressure generated by your hand directly down into the very center of the material you are slicing. When you pull a Wharncliffe through a tough target, the blade bites deeper rather than slipping off. This makes it devastatingly effective at effortlessly slicing through heavy industrial synthetic ropes, thick zip ties, and heavy-duty packaging. It offers unmatched control for precise pull cuts, making it a favorite among modern urban survivalists who need a reliable, aggressive slicer for everyday utility and sudden emergencies. Spear point. The purest expression of lethal symmetry in blade design. Both the top and bottom edges mirror each other perfectly, dropping at the exact same angle to place the absolute tip dead center in the middle of the blade's profile. This perfect alignment guarantees that when you thrust the knife forward, 100% of your physical force is driven straight into the target without any deflection or wasted energy. Frequently sharpened on both sides to form a true combat dagger, it is one of the most ancient weapon designs in human history. While a single-edged spear point can handle light camp tasks, its symmetrical geometry is not meant for slicing or chopping wood. It is built strictly for one singular brutal purpose: achieving maximum uninterrupted penetration through thick layers. Whether hunting wild boar or defending against an attack, it is the ultimate thrusting instrument. Machete. Less of a traditional knife and more of a global survival and agriculture necessity. Featuring a long, relatively thin steel profile, the machete is designed strictly to generate incredible swing momentum rather than relying on heavy brute strength. while a thick, heavy camp axe will instantly get wedged and stuck inside green, wet vegetation. The thin, flexible steel of a machete whips through thick jungle vines, tall marsh grass, and light tree branches like a laser. From the unforgiving, dense rainforests of Latin America to the vast, sweeping plains of Africa, it remains the absolute most widely used and tested survival blade on the planet. It is cheap to produce, incredibly easy to sharpen with a basic field stone, and long enough to keep venomous snakes or predators at a safe distance. It is the ultimate tool for blazing a trail through the most hostile environments on Earth. Neck knife. A micro-sized fixed blade usually housed in a rigid friction-fit kydex sheath, specifically designed to be worn point down on a breakaway chain directly around your neck. The golden rule of the wilderness is that the absolute best survival knife in the world is simply the one you actually have on your person when disaster strikes. Because this highly concealable backup tool sits right at the center of your chest, it acts as your absolute last line of defense. If you lose your heavy backpack in a rapid river crossing, drop your primary belt tool down a ravine, and find yourself trapped or entangled, this tiny blade is always within reach. It can be deployed with one hand in a fraction of a second to cut yourself free from ropes, vines, or seat belts, proving that massive size is completely irrelevant when you desperately need immediate, life-saving access.